All right. Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of the Soul Aligned Network's private podcast. I'm so excited to be here today because we are diving into a topic and a conversation that can truly change the game for entrepreneurs and leaders. And it's how to sell yourself in 3 seconds. Because think about it. You really just have a few seconds to decide if you trust someone. That's same for you. People have 3 seconds to decide if they want to listen to you, if they're open to working with you. So those 3 seconds hold massive power. And who better to guide us through this conversation than my guest today, Ildiko, who is a serial entrepreneur and global traveler. And we'll hear more about that. But today, we're really just going to go in and explore how to make those first 3 seconds unforgettable so it can open doors for you, so you can build trust instantly and really position yourself just powerfully in a room, both online and offline. So let's dive in and welcome, Ildiko.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Chris. I'm very excited about this conversation. I cannot wait to dive in.
Yes, I am as well. And so I know you and I have had a chance to connect before, and it's when you invited me to be a guest on your interviews on the 8-8 portal. And I loved our connection. And so I knew I wanted to just bring you in because I'm fascinated with the topic that you talk about a lot. And it's really how to sell yourself in 3 seconds, among so many other things that you do. But I think it's so important because in today's world, especially with all the distractions that we have, we got to get people's attention immediately. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. But first, I'm also loving the fact that you're just this global traveler. And I know you've mentioned that you've lived in about 10 countries across 5 different continents, and you've also explored over 35 countries. So why don't you tell us, like, how has how has it been just being a global traveler? Like, how has that shaped the way you sell yourself and connect with people so quickly?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for that question. So going back there, I started solo traveling at age 14.
Oh,
So that
wow.
really set the tone because we do have relatives in the US and they came to visit us when I was 13. And I just started learning English, like slowly, and I really enjoyed it. And I was really interacting with my aunt and uncle. And they sent a letter to my mom that if you let her go, we will invite her and she's going to go to school and she's going to learn English. And I was always that cheerful, open, like I loved adventure from day one. And so my parents let me go, and that was my first travel. So I went to the US, Florida, to Vero Beach, and we had 10 days before school started. And my uncle
Mhm.
said, okay, like I talked to you in Hungarian for 10 days, but then it's over. And it was not an easy trip because I needed to go to a public school where I didn't speak the language and I wanted to be part of it. And not only that, it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Everything was new. And how do you cope with that? So I needed to come up with methods. I just understand all this at hindsight that I needed to do all this at 14 to
Yeah.
be part of it. That you are not the girl who is alone sitting on the bench, but because I love to have fun. I am the fun girl.
Mhm.
And and I love to laugh. I love the enjoyment. I love adventure. And I needed to become part of it. And I started developing methods how to make friends. And of course, I needed to level up my English. I needed to do all that. So at 14, okay, we did the school year. I went back to Hungary, which was a culture shock again. because it was again so different. And I did until graduation. I stayed here, and I was thinking, okay, so how do I go back? So I started creating jobs for myself. So when we did the graduation, and I needed to ask them to come up to the first ones because I already got myself a job in California as the head cook at a summer camp, and I was flying. I didn't even stay for the graduation party.
Wow.
So, and then I realized that I love doing this. I know how to do this. And I just kept on going. Of course, at some point, this was my escape as well, because
Mhm.
there were some points in our lives, we all go through that, where we don't want to push through and we are just not interested doing the work, which we get to do later,
Right.
right? We were just tired of it. So, but it all changed when I understood this. And there was a time for me in actually 2021 while living in Panama City, Panama. I was hotel hopping. So I picked a hotel and I checked in, and I was wondering, how can I get myself an upgrade? And I went from hotel to hotel, and I started doing this in restaurants. And I started practicing. I started seeing like what else is possible because I wanted to have a late checkout. So I went down to the hotel and I told the guy like I would love to have a late checkout. Please put it on the bill. Oh, that's okay. So it's like, oh, can I get this? What else can I get? Who do I get to be? How do I get to interact in order to receive gifts from the universe? Let's put it like this. And in 24, I was checking in to a beautiful hotel in Spain, Mallorca, just for one night. So for me, investment, a hotel is an investment because I do take a lot of pictures and I practice my next level. And I said, well, I'm only staying here for a night, so I didn't book an ocean view because I got there late. I left like 3 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't use it. And I walked in and as is, and she said, oh my God, this is your lucky day. Let me upgrade you to an ocean view. Would you like a glass of champagne? And
Yes, please.
yes, please. And more of that. And I started asking for discounts in boutiques, and they have it. And actually, this happened 2 months ago in Italy. We didn't ask for a discount. We just walked in with my friends. And actually, the owner came to us, ladies, if you choose to pick those items, I can give you 30% off that price. So yeah.
I have to just interject here because you're saying so many things that have piqued my curiosity, so I know it'll pique others. But I'm sure you're always asked, like, how do you do this, Ildiko? How do you just walk in and get upgrades or get discounts? But I'm more interested in knowing, like, what are you thinking? Like, who is the woman that Ildiko is embodying to walk in just confidently knowing that this is going to happen? Because it's all about you, not about what you're doing necessarily, but how you are showing up as Ildiko. So tell us about who you're being in those moments.
So the embodiment gets to happen because if you don't show confidence, there is nothing. And I have embodied that. So that's the trick, one of the tricks, that you really walk in there like you own the place.
Mm-hmm.
And people see that. It is your posture as well. Because people who take up space are confident,
Mm-hmm.
they have knowledge, they have wisdom, they have seen things, which I eventually have. So it's like I am using all of me. And I really think it comes down to your experience because that's all we have. So now I'm asking you, what are the experiences you have in what areas? What did you learn from that? So embody that woman who could live the next level of that experience, because sometimes it's not a pleasant experience. Like,
Right.
for example, so I'm doing mystical knowledge. And I know exactly for myself and for my clients as well that in this lifetime, I'm learning excellence. So, for example, if I have a negotiation or a business deal or just anything, any situation, I know that exactly that it's gonna come back. And I get the opportunity to do it better. So I am able to give myself grace. This is like an inner knowledge. So I used my own medicine, my own tool to know who I am, to know what I bring to the table, and show that to the whole world. So this is it. And we have that inner knowledge.
Yeah.
It's different for everyone. So the recipe I can give you today is that you start looking through your experience and you start writing that list. Like, I am that woman who did over 300 showings because I was in that industry. I am that woman who showed up at 30 real estate deals. I am that woman who worked for a millionaire and was behind doors, closed doors at a $1 million property deal. So, who are you? And you get to bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you get to show up every day. This is how you walk, talk, do deals. Not every day is a good day. We
Right.
all know
Right.
that.
Right.
So let's be real here. Like, I'm a manifesting generator. So it's like I do have these waves. And I'm using those waves when I have those good days. Those are the days I sell. And there's another thing, I learned how to shift. So even in a challenging situation, I can shift in seconds. And that is the key here. Like, you go there, you go to your next level, you go to that lady who is already making 1 million,
Yeah.
and you get to train yourself. I know not everyone is traveling the world. However, you get to do that. You get to go to a location you've never been. You get to go there alone and you get to see how the world perceives you. Because this is a very important part of it. Because what you think about yourself is one thing and how the world perceives it. And then you just check in with yourself what's working, what's not working, and what do you get to tweak. And for women, it's a very big thing of receiving. Like, many times we want to do it all, we want to be the strong woman, we don't carry we carry our suitcase and no man is needed, and we get to tap into that softness. So one of the things I did, I started consciously working on receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the, like, oh, I would love to invite you today. My old self would have been, no, I'm gonna invite you. But I said, thank you. How
Yeah.
wonderful. Let me carry your suitcase. My old self would have been, I can carry it alone, don't worry. Oh, thank you. And when you really respond to that way, whatever the universe has to offer for you in that moment,
I love it. And it's so true,
that's where
right?
everything changes.
It's true because depending on the individual, right? But I know I
Yes.
grew up and I had this mentality that I'm just going to do it myself because I'm just going to, because there was moments in my life where maybe I asked for help, but I didn't receive it for whatever reason, right? But it planted the seed in my mind of like, no, I'm going to do everything myself because if I'm going to succeed, it's going to be me. And what happens as a result of that, it's a subconscious belief that says, I don't allow other people to help me. And it's an unconscious block, right? So when you can remove that and say, okay, so maybe there were circumstances in my life that where I didn't receive help in that moment, or I didn't receive it how I wanted or how I expected. Maybe it just didn't look like the way I wanted to receive it. Start removing that, start, saying, okay, that was the past, right? And I'm loving that you're bringing this up because it is so common in women,
Yes.
especially in today's society where women have become very independent. But there's also
Yes.
something beautiful about receiving and saying thank you. And that's also something that I've been doing where it's like, okay, we go to lunch, somebody pays, I got it. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. And like you said before, it's like, no, 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 I'll pay for it. I invited you. It's like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. It's
Exactly.
on me
And we
next
get exactly. And the same goes for the compliment. So when
time.
you get a compliment, we were actually trained to give it back right away. So we cannot even receive that. And these were very conscious choices for me as I was watching myself evolving. And of course, boundaries, that's a huge one because and I think this is one of the most challenging parts for women because we want to be liked, we want to be part of it, and we do too many things for that. And my boundary journey started, I think I was 47, and even saying a no was a physical pain in my body. Especially, when you're traveling alone, like you really want to be part of it. You don't want to be alone.
Mhm.
And then and it really comes back to that at the end of the day, what are you available for and what are you not available for? And even as an entrepreneur, I have done over 600 one-on-one sessions, blueprints. And let's put it this way, I had very interesting clients as well. And it's really bringing it down to that point that the world can do to you whatever you allow the world to do to you.
Yes.
And that comes down to sometimes very hard conversations. We get to have conflicts. We get to leave. So for me now, it goes like, okay, I'm invited for a party. I check in with my sacral. It's a yes. And I arrive to the party and it became a no. And I just leave. I stopped explaining myself because people only understand you from their perspective, what
Hmm.
they have. So what's the point?
Yeah.
And this is how I choose to live because at the end of the day, this whole experience is a choice, and
Yes.
we are here to fill ourselves and give away from the overflow. If you don't have overflow, you cannot do it. You're
That's
gonna
correct.
be burned out. People gonna use you. You're gonna be a doormat. What are
Yes.
you choosing?
Yes. So I have to ask you this. Why do you believe we only have 3 seconds to sell ourselves? Like, what happens in those 3 seconds that matters so much?
We get to create a feeling. If you cannot create a feeling, I mean, you create a feeling either way. And that 3 seconds, if you can create curiosity. So people want to know, like, oh, she's like, be that interesting person in the room, be that interesting lady. And that is really styling because it's sometimes nobody wants to talk to the gray mouse. Like you can be the best if you're not styled in your unique way, and it gets to be authentic because red lipstick doesn't work for everyone. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. And even if I put someone in a beautiful suit, maybe it's not authentic. So this is
Mhm.
what I actually do with my clients. So for example, it's we pick statement jewelry. It's different for everyone. I personally love asymmetric, but that doesn't work for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I really go deep in that. What does that mean to you? What are you called to? And this is a whole process. And you get to wear your colors too. Because if you don't wear your colors, it could be that you look gray. And that's not a good thing. However, when you wear your colors, they really light up your face. So I love picking like unique things.
Yeah.
And that is already a conversation starter. Oh, you have different nail polish? Wow, I'm gonna try that too. Like you don't see this here, but this is like they're not the same. And they
Mm-hmm.
go like, oh, you lost that thing on this one. I thought, no, I didn't. It's like that. Oh, interesting. So it's you there is a way to start a conversation. I love your bag. I love your, but again, it goes together with the energy. So
Yeah.
it's like you get to bring all of you, your most powerful, authentic, confident self to the front end and operate from within. And sometimes you don't even need to say a word. People still want to know who you are. And that's the secret there.
Yeah. So then what would you say are like the top three things that someone must focus on to make that unforgettable impression in that short window of time?
So what do you get most compliments on? So I was really surprised that my clients really complimented me in a certain green dress I was wearing. Green wasn't even my color. It wasn't even on my color palette. So I said that, interesting. And the more I wear it, the more compliments I got. So now I have 10 different things of that green. And every time I wear it, people just go, wow. But they don't compliment the dress, they compliment something else, but it's the whole vibe. So you get, and it does matter who compliments you because your neighbor would compliment you anyway. So like who do you want to connect with?
Yeah.
So if you go to a networking meeting, for example, and this is a process, you get to start tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing people notice on you? And I would reach out to clients, best friends, people who know you, um parents as well. Like, what do you think my most valuable asset is? And for some people, it's listening. For others, it's leading.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to use that.
Yeah. I love that. I've done that in the past, and you'll actually be surprised at what people say that maybe you didn't even consider. So,
Exactly. This is
so
a
it's a good
very,
thing.
very important element of the whole thing because I have noticed that even ambitious entrepreneurs have no clue about their God-given gifts.
Mhm. They just
And
come
they
so natural to people that you tend to oversee them.
exactly. And that is your asset. That is your true asset. And that gets to be in your forehead, like really using that.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have to ask for
Yeah.
those that get nervous or freeze up because it just doesn't come natural to everyone. What's like that tip you have for them to like ground themselves quickly before those 3 seconds happen?
So I do that, like for example, at three. Like before I go into a networking event, I go to a mirror in the bathroom and I talk to myself. You get to build that relationship to yourself and you get to compliment. And I'm still doing this. So this is like a non-stop, not it. So this is a very good tip I was doing, and I'm still doing that. In every shop window, I stop and I give myself a compliment.
At every what? Shopping store?
Shop window,
Oh, shop.
shop
Good.
window, mirror, like you giving it to yourself. And this is how you really start growing. It can be a small, like, oh my God, you are a badass. You did that as today, or you look sexy today. I love your confidence, or I love that pink dress you are wearing. It doesn't matter. And you get to acknowledge yourself every morning as well.
Mm-hmm.
because it's already sets the stage for you. We are not here for the overnight process. We are here for decades. And practically, we are mastering the same things over and over again. But what if we started using those gifts we already have? So, for example, a client is coming to me and I said, okay, your communication is already in your pocket. No, I need to take a communication course. And I said, you don't. Like, they are not using it. People are not aware of it, unfortunately, and we are trying so many streets. I understand that as well. So how do you do this with yourself? You start building yourself, and in the
Yeah.
process you pause, you give yourself grace, and you go on, and you set boundaries,
Yes.
and you start operating from your next level, the one who is, I don't know what your goal is. Like, don't set it too high, but you say, like, would this be a woman who would be making 500K a year? What would she do in this situation? Would
Mm-hmm.
she stay or would she leave? Would she buy this dress? Like, start building up that persona.
Yeah. I love that. What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about selling yourself? That idea of you have to sell yourself.
We are selling ourselves 24/7. This is the truth. Like, everywhere we go, because we have this eye contact with people and they choose, like, are you interested? Am I interested or not? And people don't think that it actually happens, but it does. So there is a study, like, we look at someone's face, and less than 10 seconds we have an opinion. I believe that is quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So that there is a study behind this. You get to you get to watch yourself. This is how I train myself to get better and better at it, and I am nonstop testing it. I tested it actually 2 days ago. We went on an excursion to a mystical castle with my sister, and there was an entrance fee. And the guy said, like, for such and such, you don't need to pay. And I said, this is exactly the diploma we have. We did it together. And he looked at me and he said, I believe you. I didn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I just I didn't have the paperwork with me. I couldn't prove it. But I sold myself in 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we do all day long. Like, while I was living in Costa Rica, I wanted to buy beautiful flowers. So I went to the guy and he said, no, they're all sold. They're gonna come and pick it up. And I just looked at him and he said, oh, you know what? And he started picking out from every bouquet one thing, and he said, there you go. And I said, how much do I owe you? Nothing. Come back next week.
I love it.
And millions of things. And
Hmm.
it was so funny. I had a favorite cafe while I was living in Costa Rica, and I went there every morning for a certain kind of pastry. And there was a small and big one in the counter, and they always choose for me the biggest one. I didn't say nothing. They said, like, no, this is the biggest. There you go. So
Yeah.
this is how you sell yourself. It is kindness, genuine, genuine energy, but it depends. At a negotiation, it gets to be powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like we get to blend and bring in that right energy, which is all about practicing.
Yes. And you said it, we get to do this. And the embodiment piece is the most important piece of all.
Yes.
So as we start to wrap up, I mean, I'd love to hear from you. So if someone listening wants to walk away today with one simple shift, like that shift to improve how they sell themselves in 3 seconds, what would that be?
people don't know how to do that, go and go and watch videos and reels and pick a star or pick someone you like and start copying them in a way, and let's see how that's working. Maybe the way they move their hips, maybe it's the smile they're doing, maybe the way they take off the sunglasses. So pick your favorite star, whatever, start studying them. What do you like about them? And then make it yours. I don't know if it's working, but this could be one thing. And when you master one little piece, then the rest is going to come. So, for example, my handshake is very strong. And they're really surprised, like, oh, such a tiny girl. I'm 5'2". So, this is a very important element. Start training yourself for eye contact. This is
Mm-hmm.
a very important because holding the energy, holding your confidence, holding your wisdom, holding your knowledge, and pick a unique accessory where you have a story about it and start a conversation with strangers. That could be one thing as well. You start complimenting a stranger you like and see where that conversation leads. So you get to do something out of your comfort zone because what you have been doing over and over again, it is leading to same results.
Yeah. So if it's not working, try something, do a different shift. And really, it's about practicing, right? Like you said,
It's about
practice,
practicing.
see if it feels good. If it doesn't, if it just doesn't align with you, pick the next thing. Practice
Exactly.
until you
So
find what flows with you.
exactly. So go and get a new makeup. So go to that shop where they really serve like what would look good on my face. And it goes with a dress as well. So there to go to a boutique, like, here I am. I would love to buy here something. What do you recommend? Because then we don't keep on buying the same dresses over and over again. Like we wanna stand out, we wanna pop in a way, and we only have 3 seconds for that.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ildiko. I loved this conversation. It's so powerful because we forget the natural gifts that we have. We forget what is so important, in creating those connections. And so I love that you just brought these tips in because, like you said, if something's not working, if you're not connecting, then it's time to revisit this and don't be hard on yourself, right? It's practice. You're not always going to get it right, but you get to play with it and make it playful is really what I am just picking up from you, from your energy, from your essence. Make it fun, embody that persona, and live from that.
So one last thing, start flirting with yourself and you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Ildiko, for that. I love this conversation. And so, for anyone who wants to connect further with you, who just wants to learn a little bit more about how to sell yourself, how can they connect with you and what do you have going on right now?
Well, you can book a 15-minute for your group and your audience. I would give a 15-minute complimentary call where you will really understand that one door that opens every other door. I use your date of birth, so this is where you get to come in, and I would love to connect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So everyone that's tuning in, take advantage of this. I've had a quick connection with Ildiko in the past, and I mean, in those 15 minutes, she really brought some things up that left me, wanting more. So go ahead and connect with her. And I really can't wait to continue our conversations and just maybe even have you back in the group and just sharing your wisdom as well. So thank you so much, Ildiko. We will be, you know, hearing more and talking to you further along.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me, Chris.
Absolutely.